economic backgrounds are in Utah. And you've adapted to changes in technology on the snow. I mean, just the difference between today, your usage patterns versus 15 or 20 years ago in terms of what people are doing on the mountain itself. We are here because we want to connect Americans in the 21st century. So looking ahead 20 years, 30 years from now, to the great outdoors, whether it's parks or forests or Corps of Engineers or wildlife refuges, give us some hope that you are finding success in breaking down barriers that we have traditionally run into, where the people who seem to derive the most benefit from public lands are Caucasian, middle and upper income, educated, and suburban.
Well, Derek, I appreciate the credit you gave us on that. I do think that that Snowbird and a lot of resorts have really focused really hard to try and make our sport accessible to everybody. I think the last thing that most of us want our legacy to be is that, hey, we provided good recreation as long as you had $100 to go buy a lift ticket. Do we need that segment of the business? Absolutely. You know, it's really important, as I already said, that we have a lot of our clientele that are willing and able to come spend a lot of money, but it's also really important to us to, and I think part of what we should do for our community is to provide what we do winter and summer to a large, diverse group. And I'm really proud that Snowbird, like a lot of other ski resorts, many ski resorts have programs to do that. We just had a big fundraiser between Christmas and New Year's where with this fundraiser and another one, we raised about $500,000 for our race team and scholarships. So it's a very diverse program where we bring kids into skiing. And we have a wonderful adaptive sports program where we work with the Primary Children's Hospital in Salt Lake City and also the Veterans Administration, where we bring up people with a wide variety of disabilities from our wounded warriors and kids with problems. And it's best, Derek, it's the best thing we do. And I think that it's not just Snowbird. There are a lot of resorts that have those wonderful types of programs, and I think we try really hard to open up what we do winter and summer to everyone, as we should.
Okay, I think
I have
Kathy's
a
got
question in the back, yeah. Bob, maybe I missed this when I was checking somebody in, but when you're talking about it took 50 years to get the partnership together for FICOR, do you think the structure is such and the work that has been done has given you a foundation that you could survive a political win, whether it's in a year or in 5 years?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, part of, well, Derek worked on the President's Commission for America's Outdoors, was it right, under Reagan, and Bush had something similar. Both won and two, and Clinton had his thing too. So I think the theme is everybody likes the outdoors, and we have good support on both sides of the aisle. I don't think there's any question there, and people, it's an American legacy and heritage. So there's also agreement that agencies can work together better, and that we need to reduce redundancy and having dueling programs. And why do we have a social, not to pick on social science, but you know, why do we have a host of social sciences and research centers around the country, and are they talking to one another, and how can we better utilize the information they're generating and then collectively identify strengths of certain agencies over other agencies, and then why can't we then utilize across agencies those resources? So that's the discussion where FICOR becomes really important, is aligning federal resources, but also looking at opportunities for coordination and collaboration, and you know, use Service First as an example of delivery for whether it's training and capacity building, or whether it's challenge cost share funding, or whether it's policies related to concessioning. They need to be more consistent across the board. So our hope is by establishing this Federal Interagency Council on Outdoor Recreation, it's an MOU and a charter that's signed between the agencies. So it doesn't have anything to do with the president at this point, right? Really. I mean, he can get rid of it or create it or not, but it is a commitment, and our hope is that if we can bring the directors together, they can see the value in having 1 day or 2 days a year where they focus on the topic of outdoor recreation and charge us, the senior managers, to coalesce that information and to make decisions that affect policy and budget. And I think that's where we're trying to institutionalize FICOR. It's interesting, through the AGO process, only the recreation folks and the youth folks try to institutionalize. Youth folks have a FACA charter committee, and we said we needed this interagency group to try to pull together over the long term. And I likened it to we created a shopping cart to move good ideas forward and to at least get to the checkout stand. Well, we're pushing our shopping cart through these aisles, and now the education group and the youth group and the conservation interests are saying, what a great idea. You're getting the agency directors together, the people who manage most of the nation's resources, and to getting consensus. What a great concept. We want to put our package in your shopping cart. So we're getting a lot of expectation built about what the FICOR can take on and the order they can take it on, and what priorities and how to screen those and elevate those and articulate those in real doable action. So it's a challenge, but the goal is exactly that, Kathy, is to keep it going and provide a forum, a national forum for outdoor recreation now into the future, and a place where people can solicit, that we can solicit offers and ideas from our partners. People are already coming to us, whether it's National Geographic or the outdoor industry or the state parks people. They're saying, look, we have ideas, we want to share them with the FICOR to help in furtherance of some of these goals in America's Great Outdoors initiative. So, yeah, keep your fingers crossed. Yeah. We're going to keep it up.
I'm not sure.
Okay, we can take one more, and then we'll take up Derek's offer to meet with you at happy hour. Hold on, question.
I'm not sure if you just answered the question I was going to ask, but I was going to ask about the map that you had up there and where the private sector representatives would fall on that map. It wasn't really super
clear. Yeah, well, it's a number of the bubbles have private sector interest. FACA chartered committees that we're charged to work with are representatives of not only foundations, non-profit entities, but they also represent interest groups, and hunting and fishing group is pretty clear who that crowd is, and the sport, fishing, and boating folks. And so not everybody can have their own FACA group eventually. But these are key leaders. Now, that said, industry groups and others are a big piece of that, and the coalition here is a big piece of that, and has a diverse representation of outdoor recreation interests. So it comes up in a couple of places. The foundations, it comes up in the arena with state parks and local parks and communities, where there's a great deal of interest from the private sector. And then it comes up, you know, in industry and activity driven, and also in member-driven organizations like Outdoor Alliance, you know, whitewater boating, rock climbing. So that, yes, it's infused with that, and it has to be. But the real challenge is, how do you substantively engage people and then follow through on that? That's the tough part.
Okay, thank you for your questions, and we'll be here through the reception and dinner tonight at least, and remember through the rest of the meeting, so we're 45 minutes.
All right, the most important information, as you exit here, you will turn to the right. You will go up the stairs, hook around the stairs, go up by the registration desk, walk right by the registration desk, turn left, follow the signs down that corridor, and you will find the reception and eventually the dinner. And just a little housekeeping, I need to see Carrie, Sally, Margaret, Gilbert, Linda,